Hi, I'm Nick Boone, and this is my seven-figure funded story.
So start off, Nick, and just tell me a little bit about your background. What is it that you do for work or for business? And then when did you get involved in trading?
So for my professional career, I'm actually an application security engineer. I work for basically a large consulting company here in the U.S. We service for Fortune 500 companies, government, telecommunications, finance, everything. Been doing that for about 7, 8 years now. Before that, I was actually an application engineer. So kind of the tech side of things as far as my professional career. I got into trading pretty early, to be honest. Like my first intro was a finance class I had to take as part of my undergraduate degree. That kind of got me hooked into, here's how you actually trade things. Here's how you get involved in the market, things like that. Always kind of had a passion for that, but realized that, the thing that I like to do and that I knew I'd have job security would be, put me in IT and specifically in information security. So with that, I did get into like Forex and currencies and stuff like that, maybe like 9, 10 years ago. Had varying levels of success as usual, right? You have your ups and your downs, but the currencies never really clicked for me. They're a 24/7 market, and they kind of require you to be flexible with your time, right? The markets move at sometimes the middle of the night for me, being based in the U.S. Whereas with stock market, I've done relatively well because it's basically 8 to 5. That's easy, right? I'm always awake for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, been in investing for quite a while, trading for quite a while. Just kind of got back into the Forex stuff recently with Blue Edge.
Gotcha. And so you'd had some success trading stocks and ups and downs trading currencies. So I guess, how did you come across our company and what motivated you to want to try prop farming and trading algorithmically?
So YouTube got me. I'll be honest about it. I usually don't like if I see anything about, oh, here's a trading bot or anything like that. It's next, just get off my screen kind of thing. For whatever reason, this one kind of clicked for me. I was like, you know what? I'm at a point in my life, afford to, in a sense, gamble my money on this awesome trading bot that may or may not pan out. You guys provided a guarantee, so I felt a little confident that worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, I'll get my money back for the license. No harm, no foul. I just wasted a little time, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, decided to pull the trigger on it. Gave it a try. We'll say I had a terrible start, rough start. We were all evolving, right? As a community, started out where I think when I joined, it was do one challenge a month or something like that, and now it's if you can do one every week. When I kind of moved into that do one every week, things just took off like crazy.
So you had mentioned that normally you would just, if you saw some sort of trading bot, you'd be like, okay, next. But you said something clicked for you. So what was it that clicked for you? Or what did you feel like was different about this, and why'd you give this a try?
This one didn't necessarily claim to be the holy grail, right? Which I'll say I'm generally a bit paranoid when it comes to marketing, right? I never like to trust what I'm being told. I always have to go look into it. But as I thought about it more, and then I scheduled the initial call with one of the team members. I think it was Carlos or something. We kind of went through it and we talked about it, and I started asking very detailed questions. I understood, he's not gonna, give me all the details, right? He can't tell me what's under the hood because that's proprietary. But I was like, well, how does this actually work? What's the expectation? What do I have to do to make it work? What makes it successful for you guys? And he was very upfront. It's like you have to put in work. It's not a sit and forget. You don't get to just turn it on and magic money appears out of nowhere into your account and you're rich. It doesn't work that way. You have to do the back testing. You have to find parameters that work for the current market conditions. And to me, that was like, okay, I see this not necessarily as a trading bot that's going to make all the decisions for me and I have to just put my entire faith into, but instead it's something that's going to allow me to manage trades when I can't be at my computer. And that was the main thing for me. I mentioned earlier, right? Like, with currencies, London market moves quickly sometimes, and that's opens at 2 a.m. for me in my time zone. I can't maintain that lifestyle anymore where I'm up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning to trade and then have to get up 5-6 o'clock to go to work. Just doesn't work for me anymore. I'm getting too old, I guess. But with this, I saw an opportunity that's like, hey, it allows me to kind of have that data, have that confidence that I've got a good probability of having a successful trade overnight, and I don't have to manage it. I don't have to be there to enter. We're going to enter based off the criteria that I give. And that was the big thing for me, right? Like I can trade during work sometimes, but like I said, I can't trade overnight all the time. Burn out too quickly for that.
And so had you had previous experience with prop firms before coming to us, or no?
No, I had not actually. I've been wanting to get into the prop firms. I was originally looking at trying to get into prop firms from a futures perspective to get more exposure in the futures market. But that was new to me. I'd never traded futures before. I knew there was leverage and I knew there was some differences there, but this kind of worked out together. You guys were pushing, hey, our robot is to help you get past these prop challenges, and we often focus primarily on gold dollar, right? And to me, I'm like, okay, so I know currencies, I know how crazy they are and how awesome they can be, but for me, it was always an issue of timing the market and then trying to manage trades overnight. So it was it was nice that, like, one, I get a little bit of hand holding, right? Get into something new. I get a community of people. I get people that have been doing this a long time that can kind of guide me in the right direction, show me which prop firms are maybe more reputable than others. We won't talk about MFF, but that happens sometimes. But for the most part, you've got a community of people that have good, long-standing, relationships with these prop firms. They've received many payouts. You kind of get like that framework, that that guide, right? A little bit of a tutorial. There's still a lot of variability, but for the basics, it was very helpful. And like I said, it's kind of all kind of melded together for me when I had that first meeting.
So tell me about what your experience has been like, because I know you said you started off slow when you're only doing like one challenge a month, and then you started. Tell me, what has your experience been like using our prop farming process and our algorithms?
So this is a template actually that came from the community. I've adapted a little bit for myself, just for things I like to keep track of. And you'll see I actually make much better use of this bot column later. You'll see up here, right? This is my first challenge that I took way back 1 year ago on the dot, actually, January 16th, 2023. I swung for the fences, went for a $200,000 account, popped $1,000 down, see how it went, blew it in like 2 days. It was gone, felt bad, and I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, not a big deal. Gave it a couple weeks, did another one, fail. And then I'm just like, okay, I got to go back to the drawing board. I talked to my success coach. It's like, what do I do here, right? Like, I'm not looking to cash in on, the guarantee here at this point, but we're having that conversation. We're $4,500 into this at this point, right? Plus the cost of Titan. So we dug a pretty big hole, right? And this goes back to, again, that advice. Do what you can afford to lose, right? Don't start bigger for the sake of starting bigger, because you kind of have to maintain it. Otherwise, it's that analogy, right? Dig a hole with like a backhoe, and then you're going to try to dig yourself out with a shovel. It takes a while. It's a lot of work. But you'll see here, right? Number 7, we made my way all the way to March, right? Failed an account, started a new one as soon as I failed it. In March, I finally took my medicine. Hey, let's drop it down to basically $500 a challenge.
Yeah.
I remember had some life things going on at the time, and like I can't maintain. Like I need this extra $500. That's just kind of how it was.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels bad. Fast forward, we finally get to April, and I get my first pass. Right, so literally spent 3 months of just going with the whole prop farming theme that we've got here. Right, barren fields, no crops to harvest. Felt bad. It was terrible. You'll see here, we moved to these 5%. Those are going to be phase 2s. But we had a pretty good streak here. I lost my 2 phase 2s. Happens. It's just part of it. At some point here, you'll see the cadence changes rapidly, which actually, it's right about here. We're pretty much every week, starting around like end of April, going into the summer. Doing $500 challenge, kept going, got a bunch of passes. Was able to, again, this is just showing my challenges. I've got a funded tab for the funded accounts, but just hit pass after pass after pass after pass.
Wow.
Yeah, everything was great. Hit a lot of passes. This block of red, this was kind of the dark times, right? This is where we started getting into the MFF issues. Don't know why I have this as E8 here. Oh no, I did lose a bunch of E8 accounts. That's right. I started trying to get into E8, and mistakes were made. Some of those were my own user error. Some were tight didn't make it, but I think I messed up on 1 or 2 of those somehow and blew the account on accident. So I mean, like, it's been a crazy year. If I hop over to the funded accounts tab, right, you'll see the first funded account I ever finally got, and I got a payout on, was 6 months in.
Oh, nice.
In June. So it took a while before we started seeing some return. But like I said, it went crazy, right? Like, this was being pretty conservative, going for like 2 to 4% basically on every account. I think I was doing, I guess 4% on those, right? And started kind of, getting a little more conservative just because things felt like they were changing. I felt like I needed to just take what I could and run. And then of course, December, I've had a great December. December going into January here, doing manual trading.
Yeah.
But, again, with the advice of, we generally don't run the bots in December, it gets chopped up so quickly. I will say, like, from a manual trading perspective, December was a beast. It was a lot of work to get what I could out of there. But like, all that to say, if we go back over here to kind of the overview page, I had a great little turnout here. These are my running totals, right? It's not a cheap game to play. I've spent basically $30,000 in challenge fees, but I've pulled out $50,000 in withdrawals. That initial investment of, we'll say I was around like $5,000 for those first few challenges I lost. I've pulled out $20,000 in profit with minimal effort. I still have to do the back testing. I still go through my routine every week to make sure that everything makes sense to me, everything's set up correctly. But it's basically set and forget. Get everything set up, turn everything on Sunday night. I might check in on it, once or twice in a week just to see how things are going. Make sure that basically a VPS didn't die or something crazy like that. But no, it's been pretty good. I mean, and say you can see my totals over here for just like my counts of my phase 1s. I've done 33 phase 1 accounts. Looks like I've passed approximately half of those. So I'm about 50% win rate on phase 1. Going into phase 2, out of 29, I've passed basically 2/3. So my pass rate on that's my funded account. 16 phase 2s. I've passed 11 of my 16 phase 2s. So about 30%. About 60% pass rate once I get to phase 2. And I've lost a total of 8 accounts, including the 4 that MFF stole from me, and I'll never see again. So I've only failed 4 accounts with Titan, to be fair.
Oh, wow. So if you exclude those 4, what would the funded rate be, roughly?
Funded rate, so we'd have 33 phase 1s, and So this is a little misleading as far as my funded total, because that counts repeats, right? When I get a cash out and then reissue a new account, it counts as another one. So I would say maybe the 16, so 11 passed on phase 2. That should be my funded rate. So so 33% funded rate is kind of the way I'm seeing that, right? So 11 out of 33.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm seeing it there. Again, it's MFF got me.
Right. So is that excluding MFF or no?
This includes MFF. I marked it as a loss. I lost money on it. I never received a payout, so it's money lost as far as profit and loss goes.
Yeah, for sure. So if those weren't included, you have about a 38% pass rate. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Minimal effort, just kind of doing, going through the roadmap you guys set forward.
Love it. Cool. Yeah, you can stop sharing your screen at this point. Thanks for sharing that, by the way, Nick. That's awesome. Cool to see. So with all of that being said, which is really awesome, like you're rolling with the wins, you're taking the losses, and you're just, playing your edge, even though sometimes it's difficult to do it psychologically, but you just keep going. And that's what's, got you to this point. So my question, to you would be, what do you attribute the success to in getting funded over $1 million total?
Really just patience. You're going to have your ups and your downs. You'll see, like that first quarter in 2023 was bad. I mean, I was like $5,000 in the hole or whatever, right? But then come Q3 when we hit, I think it was around like July or August, like the money was just rolling in. Made up for every loss I'd had before. I think I was already a little ahead at that point, but that's what really just like put me way over the top. Q4 got a little weird because we started getting into November and December with all the holidays. Things slowed down, but I was still making a little bit of money. And then of course, January where we just started. It's mostly been manual. I still haven't restarted the prop farming just yet on that. Tinkering with the hedge bot that we recently released, right? That's still working through that one with in my mind, but I haven't sold myself on it yet. But I like the idea. It sounds cool on paper. For sure.
What advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out and wanting to see success with this program?
Follow the advice that you'll probably see at least once a week in the chats, and that's when you start out, pick an account size that you can afford the fee every week. No questions asked. If that means you can only afford $50 a week, think about that's $200 a month. Do that. Like those little accounts, they will build up, and before you know it, you'll essentially have like a free account, right? Because you can reinvest your profits, and just go from there. If you do like I did, where even like hey, I was comfortable spending $1,000 on an account, right? It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like it's a lot of money. I totally agree that that's maybe a little bit too much just in general. But even if you are fine with doing that, forever, that's cool. But sometimes life gets in the way and you have to back up. And that's what happened to me. It took a little bit longer to recover. I probably would have been better off. I'd started off just the $100,000 accounts or maybe even the $50,000 accounts. Just because I'd be able to maintain that consistently. And that's really, that's, like I said, you'll see that in the chats probably at least once a week, like, what account should I start with? Like, the biggest one that you are comfortable losing. You're going to have losses. Don't expect to have a 100% win rate. It's not going to happen. That's trading. It's nothing to do with Blue Edge. It's nothing to do with the bot. That's just the life of trading.
A couple last questions. So how has this process, prop farming and getting funded over $1 million now, how has this changed your life or your trading? What kind of impact has it made?
So it's changed my psychology on trading for sure. With my manual trades, trusting the analysis, right? A problem I've had in the past is, I'll start a trade, I'll get in a position, I'll start trying to manage it. You gotta just let it go and trust that it's going to work. You do your back testing, with Titan, you do your back testing with manual trading. You have to know that, hey, your edge will play out over time. You have to just be comfortable with letting it do its thing. If you can't stand to sit there and watch it, you have to have the discipline to just walk away from the terminal. One thing that I still like to do, with Titan, even though I pretty much trust it to do its thing, it's going to work, it's going to, take the trades and do everything correctly. I like to watch the trades. At first, at this scale, right, with a $100,000 account, $200,000 account, the position sizes that the bot would put in sometimes were big. So watching price during a very volatile, around a news event or a market open, watching your basically equity jump around, hundreds up to $1,000 within a minute, or seconds, that can really give you an itchy trigger finger, and you're going to want to get in there and let me move the stop, I got to save it. It's like, no, just let it do its thing. It'll get there, right? Just trust it. Don't fiddle with it. I still do. Like I had a manual trade this morning. I was up big. I was doing great. It was like everything played out the way I hoped it would. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking like, you know what? I bet price could go just a little bit further. I'll set my take profit just a little bit further down, than where I originally had it. And you know what happened? That stupid thing walked its way all the way back up. I wasn't at the terminal to watch it. We had the market open, got very volatile. And I think it went from up like maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in equity to, I think I made $500 on the trade. So feels bad. Walk away with $500, but if I had just trusted myself, it would have been fine. But yeah, I mean, that's really the thing. Like the psychology's changed tremendously. Just understanding if you've done your job, as far as like risk management is concerned, which Titan takes care of for you, right? You're okay. Just let price do its thing. It'll figure out where it wants to go. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
Last question is anything else that you'd want to share with our audience, especially to people that may be considering using our services?
Yeah, give it a try. Like it's worth it. I find value in it. I've decided to continue on with it this year. I think it's a good way to get into, like I said, a very volatile market that is 24/7. You can't always be there to watch it, but this allows you exposure to a market in a relatively safe manner. The risk reward has been positive for me, right? I've been net profit on it, and the amount of effort for it really isn't that much. I'll say it's basically paid off, like at this point, right, with just the profits. I've paid off a couple of my student loans, over the last year that otherwise I would not have. So it's,
love it.
Yeah, it's made a dent. It's definitely helped. Still a long ways to go, but so is life. That's how it goes.
Yeah.